Dana White gives good news about the case between Jones and Aspen. A heavyweight title reunion in the UFC is one of the fights that fans really want to see in 2025. While Jon Jones is generally regarded as one of the greatest fighters ever, some still question whether he's the best in his current weight class. Champion Tom Aspinall has a strong case for being the best heavyweight right now. Jones will find him interesting to fight because of his speed, power, and youth. There is more talk about a possible fight between them now than there was before, especially since the heavyweight champion doesn't seem too excited about the battle. Thankfully, Dana White is keen on making the fight happen. The UFC seems eager to make it happen, which is a good sign, even though Jones has a reputation for being a tough negotiator. Aspen said he agreed to everything, so it's possible that plans are already in the works. In a recent talk with Jim Rome, Dana said the same thing about her confidence. The fight will happen. We're working on it and talking about it. I mean, I've said that I'm very sure that fight happens this year. It's just a matter of getting it done. Nothing is stopping it. You know this stuff. It's not as easy to put these types of fights together as people think they are. It takes time, but we'll get it done. Quote, from the outside, it might seem like getting Jones to agree to the fight is the biggest obstacle. However, Dana thinks there's no major barrier preventing the deal from going through. Jamahal Hill expects a title shot with a win over Yui Praz at UFC 311. Hill feels he's earned the right to be back in the title mix in the UFC light heavyweight division, believing that a win in his next fight will give him a chance to reclaim the championship. Hill will face fellow former 205 LBMer King Yui Praz tomorrow night at UFC 311. Hill, who is no stranger to championship success, won the vacant title at UFC 283 by beating Glover Teixeira by decision. Hill's journey back to the top hasn't been easy. He faced Alex Pereira for the title in the main event of UFC 300 last April, but was knocked out in the first round. Despite this setback, Sweet Dreams stays focused on making his way back to the top. Yeah, 100%. I feel a win here, especially a dominant, impressive win gets me a title fight next. Next is the crown. I don't see why it wouldn't be an Ilia fighting number 5 or something like that. Last, then that just says title, so I'm fighting number 2 in the world. I don't see me going backward from that. Hill's rivalry with Pereira goes beyond the cage with a controversial altercation at the UFC Performance Institute last month, adding to the tension. This incident has only fueled Hill's determination to show he's deserving of another shot at the championship. Islam Makhachev says he's not leaving the UFC without a second belt. Makhachev is set to defend his lightweight title in the main event of UFC 311 tomorrow, meeting Arman Kukan in a rematch. It's a compelling fight, and if Makhachev wins, there won't be a clear next contender for him. As a result, Islam has expressed interest in moving up to welterweight, saying he won't retire until he holds 2 belts. I don't know. It's not my job, but it's my goal. I'm not going to leave this sport without a second belt. This is my goal. End quote. However, a possible barrier to that plan is Makhachev's friendship with Belal Muhammad, the current UFC welterweight champion. The two have said they don't want to fight each other, but Islam suggested they might talk it over and come to an agreement. If that doesn't work out, Makhachev is sure he has plenty of time to achieve his goal. Even if it's not his next fight, he's willing to wait and see how the welterweight class unfolds. He is my friend, Makhachev said about Muhammad. We trained together last week. We have the same boss. Yeah, we'll talk. Anything can change very quickly. That's why I'm not planning to leave. I have time. Becoming a champ would surely cement Islam MV's place as one of the all-time greats in MMA. Before Islam can chase his champ dreams, he'll first need to beat Arman tomorrow night. Makhachev is a clear favorite going into the fight, and he's made it clear that his goal is to beat Sarukhan so thoroughly that he'll never bring up Islam's name again. Quote, Arman talks too much, but on January 18th, I will make him never talk about me again. End quote. With a professional record of 26-1 and coming off a submission win over Dustin Poirier, Islam Makhachev is looking to further solidify his dominance in the lightweight category. The rivalry between UFC featherweight king Ilia Topuria and MMA legend Khabib Nurmagomedov just got heated during an interview with Setanta Sports Georgia. Ilia was asked about Khabib being in Umar Nurmagomedov's corner for a fight against his close friend Miab Deals. The undefeated champion didn't hold back expressing faith in Meb while challenging Khabib's influence in the octagon. El Matador dismissed the significance of Khabib's presence, suggesting that no corner advice could prepare Umar for Morab's relentless pace and pressure, while he recognized Khabib's legacy. Ilia's words hinted at a rising tension between the camps. In the same interview, he stirred up controversy by declaring Khabib as his dream opponent. Khabib is the fight I've always dreamed of. I truly believe I can beat him both in the peak of his career and now. End quote. The comment set social media ablaze with fans debating whether Ilia's confidence is justified. Some pointed to Khabib's years away from competition, while others dismissed Taria's claims as overly ambitious. Toria also set his eyes on Khabib's cousin Islam Makhachev, the reigning UFC lightweight champion. Confident as ever, Ilia claimed, quote, I know I can beat both Khabib and Islam on any given day. The retired UFC Hall of Famer didn't let To's words go unnoticed in a recent podcast interview. Khabib reinforced his faith in his abilities, emphasizing that his retirement wasn't due to age or decline, but the loss of his father. He reminded everyone why he's considered one of the best. "Even now, I believe I can beat anybody in the world. I'm not old. I retired because my father passed away, not because I couldn't fight. Since I was born, I've been a fighter. Many people train, but not everyone is a fighter. Warriors defend their titles and stay the best. I could become a UFC winner if I wanted to right now, but it's Islam's time now. He's the best now, while a fight between Khabib and Ilia is pretty much impossible. The growing tension between their camps is obvious. A more likely scenario is a showdown between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria, with both champions bringing their respective strengths, Makhachev's knockout power and Islam's elite grappling, making for a high-stakes battle. But first, Islam has to get through a very tough Arman Tsarukyan this Saturday. Charles Oliva is ready for the winner of Islam and Arman at UFC 311 in a recent talk with TNT Sports. Charles gave his thoughts on the upcoming rematch between Islam and Arman with Olivia. The winner doesn't really matter. He's ready to fight either one of them as soon as possible. Ola also stated that he will be attending the event at the Intuit Dome this weekend to watch the fight. Quote, "They have similar styles. I think Islam is a little bit ahead. I also think it's going to be a very good fight, but for me it doesn't matter who wins. I'm next, it depends on how they will leave the fight. For me it doesn't matter, I will fight in February or March if I could, but it will depend on how the fight goes. I will be there even if I have to sit close to the cage," and quote. Ola's last fight was against Michael Chandler at UFC 309. Charles dominated the battle, securing a unanimous decision victory. Despite Chandler's early aggression, Oliveira controlled the pace with his striking and wrestling. The win reaffirmed Oliveira's place as one of the top contenders in the lightweight division, eyeing another title shot.